My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Monster Train. Alright, hang on. Monster Training Simulator, Aethermancer. Oh, you thought I couldn't pull that off. You were wrong. What are we gonna be doing now? I want one of the ones with low worthiness. Starspawn, hello. I see you there with 1 worthiness. Wow, you are literally the lowest worthiness in the entire party. You are coming with me then, friend. Starspawn is Tides of the Void as a signature trait. Aura, whenever an ally or an enemy uses an action of a certain element, generate wild ether. The element is chosen randomly at the start of the round. So what we're really gonna want is other units that are... Well, I mean, other units that are capable of using wild, because wild counts as all. So that should work for the Starspawn. Or I guess just units that have like very broad moves they can do. Ether-related creatures. Ooh, age-related creatures. Well, I'll be. Hello, Jotun. Having 2 creatures with age in the body certainly has power. Jazzy is a tank shield. Maloko here. Don't think it's gonna be you. Jin, Force Ether, Purge Ether. Oh. No. It's gonna be Zoe. I'm certain of that. Breach the Void. This monster can copy its last action and use it once, with its cost replaced by Wild Ether as a free action, and its element becomes wild. On top of that, you also have Wild Conversion +1, so the first energy you generate each turn is going to be wild. This is correct. Welcome to the party, Zoe. Hold up, you are also an age creature. Oh my god, yeah, the best of all worlds. Oh, shifted ooze. You don't seem to attend your restaurant in town at all, at least not since I've arrived. When did that happen?
Well, since that ghastly voice showed up, I've been getting fewer and fewer customers. I couldn't just let that thing ruin my business any further, so I took action, as any sensible monsterkin would. I can whip out a punch or 2 myself, in addition to feeding others any brave enough to do the same. But it is truly a shame to leave my restaurant unattended for so long. I'll tell you what, next time you're in Pilgrim's Rest, I'll make sure to be there to introduce you properly to it. But first, let me take care of your monster's appetites. I bet they're quite hungry again by now.
Really? Hell yeah. I wonder if this is a new shop that we open up in town. Grant Starspawn or Zoe Nuba. Give it to Starspawn, I think. Ether +1. At the start of your turn, generate 1 additional ether semi-randomly, preferring ether this monster is missing for any of their actions. I mean, can that generate wild ether? I think it's time to find out. There is a shifted ooze over the other side that is red. And red is the color of fire, and green is the color, obviously, of... Oh no, I literally don't even have earth coverage. I can't take this elemental challenge. No! Fire. Red is the color of fire, green is the color of poison. So I imagine it is a fire version of an ooze. Maybe it's like a napalm ooze kind of sitch. Element earth, so every earth used in this round. Although I don't really have control over using earth in this round, so dang. Also, they're hitting different targets. Damn, this is not great. I can't stagger either of you this turn. I guess the Cockatrice is doing... Wait, which action is that? Ignite, I think? 3x3 fire? Yeah. Okay, so I'll take the shield and retaliate. I think I'm also supposed to use explosion here. set up 3 more poise damage on the cockatrice. Unfortunately, that also buffs the cockatrice. Not what I was hoping to do. Hell yeah. I got a wild action that I can use here, which counts as a fire action, gives us an ember. So I take the wild action. Excuse me. Whenever an ally or an enemy uses an action of a certain element, generate wild ether. The element is chosen randomly at the start of each round. What's happening here? And why was that wild not counted? I don't understand. I don't get it. Well, look, let's just take out this cockatrice. For good measure. I could stagger the top line here, but I could also, instead... Oh, wait, we also stagger the top line? Oh, right, because we trigger Retaliate, and it's a wild Retaliate, so it does wild damage, giving it the ability to stagger the ooze. I was wondering how we were getting earth damage involved there. Oh, sick. This one actually is wind associated. That's great. I have that. Oh, dude, I do wind. Well, I mean, I could have. I'm a lot more hesitant about the synergy offered between these two characters than I was previously. The lance. Convert the first hit of each attack into wild damage. Zoe's gonna do wild damage a lot of the time, default, and so will Starspawn, I think, eventually. I guess I'll give it to Zoe, just in case you're doing retaliates consistently. Make those retaliates a lot better. Alright. Oh, what? What is going on here? I should get Jotun first. Yeah, specifically because I can stagger it on turn 1 with this explosion immediately. Also, it covers water and fire, so we get a wild ether for having done it. I'll brace up. And then our first response here is a wild damage hit. Hell yeah. A little bit of poise for us, which is going to be important because we got to stagger that one. Water. Interesting. 3x5, 2x8, 3x5, 2x8 is 31. What? 16. Why is it... Oh, because I'm looking at the enemy's max HP bar. Yeah, they've got 30 health. We take them out with this. This also redirects to a better target. I'm going to brace as well, because we are going to be taking a hit from the top line. Good wild damage brace, even. It consumes a wild as water, but then it also generates a wild. Enemy throws out chemical blasts. Big ol' retaliate right there. I think? Oh, wow. I have Starbeam available, so this is the move that I haven't even looked at for the Starspawn. Starbeam, 2x10 wild damage against all enemies, applies power to self. Sick. Granted, I can't do that because it'll actually take out the enemy, and I need to make sure I stagger him first. There you go, craft a memento. Shifted ooze. It is fire, water, burning tank, and affliction. Hell yeah. I could have sworn there's usually 3 creatures in the opening zone. Ether Breath. For every 20 ether consumed by all allies, applies 2 power to this monster and triggers an attack against all enemies for 3/2 wild damage. Magnus hit. On attack, deals a hit with damage equal to the total amount of power in your body, which is important because Starspawn gains power and has power as a subtype. And also, like, you know, the Starbeam is giving power as well. Momentum, every 3 attacks apply power to self. I kind of want to do Ether Breath, because I think I can probably, with the high cost of things that we have access to, like Starbeam and, you know, free actions on Zoe, drift punch kind of thing, I feel like we could probably get Ether Breath to consistently go off on, like, turn 2 or 3, and specifically because it is a 3/2 wild damage against all enemies. That means that it will stagger most enemies, because that's 3 poise damage against all enemies by default. That's before we account for anything else. It does only happen once per combat, but I think that's great. Synchronous Majesty. When you reach 5 ether of the same element, purge 1 enemy ether of the same element and apply power to self. Happens only once per combat, per thing. Weather shields. Sorry, ether shield, rather. When this monster generates or consumes ether, shield equal to the same amount of generated or consumed ether. Or Outlast. Gain aging. Whenever age is applied to this monster, heal and shield itself for 3. I think that's probably the direction we want to go. I think we're probably going to need you to be better defense. And also, having an aging trait on both of our characters is going to be really good. Meteorite. On support action, a thing that Starspawn cannot do. Convert 1 random ether into wild ether and shield self for 2. Wild conversion plus wild evasion 10. That definitely goes on Zoe. It just replaces the equipment we got previously, unfortunately. But it will be a lot better. Yeah, I'm very concerned and confused by how small this opening level is. I really need to actually, like, compare across videos and stuff like that. The reason it concerns me, obviously, is because if I'm leaving any value on the table, oh boy. Things are hard when you leave value on the table. Give me the envoy. Oh, I could even get the shifted hug monster immediately. Attack, affliction, burn. Probably not great for the party. Medusa. Nyx Starfield, also pretty damn good there. Oh, Eloise. Regeneration, burn. Hold hard, critical. Ether and purge. Maybe Eloise. Monster Chef. If the action didn't consume any cooking stacks, apply cooking to self and regeneration to the ally with the lowest amount of regeneration. That also still doesn't seem very good with my party, though. What does this party really need? This party needs the ability to heal. This party needs the ability to shield better. This party needs the ability to stagger, maybe? This party needs coverage. How about that? Let's have a look at our coverage. Oop. Not on that. There we go. So we have fire, water, earth, water. I mean, obviously, earth missing from this would be a huge pickup. I don't want it to be Dusa just because I've used you a bunch recently. If only the shifted Eloise was also Earth. The only Earth one is Medusa or Hug Monster. That's bad. That's really bad. I almost feel like I shouldn't have any Earth coverage as a result. I'm gonna take Eloise. I honestly don't suspect I will have Eloise next floor still. Your Shambler seems to break the time vortex by accessing the Void spout directly. It's a fascinating concept. I haven't seen the Void used like that before. This should make for a nice report. I hope you're alright if I keep observing your Shambler some more. Not at all. Go ahead. Pick an artifacts. I love having access to an Aethermancer whip for just the sudden mute. Sudden purge of the worst thing the enemy's about to do. Although I have to admit, Heroic Horn, just gaining some power at the start of especially a boss fight, it's really relevant. Take the whip though. As expected, Sirius. Shifted... No, that's not Shifted Whopper. It's Shifted Orthrus, though. This shouldn't appear as early as it is. It's a Corruption Cleansing Pond. Great. I have 8 Corruption on the Starspawn, and it's because I got that from Mern. Like, usually when you encounter this in the first zone, you have almost no Corruption to give it. It's like if at the start of your run you encountered a shop that only sells everything for 50 gold and you only get 50 gold by the end of the game. It's like, okay, what do I do here then? Let's dagger this Mandragora. We're also, yeah, fire is great for us right now. Perfect. I even get to use a shift punch. And considering this is doing wild damage, I'll throw it at a target who can still be staggered by it. And hell yeah, I'll brace. That even converts another wild for me. Bubble Trick gets evaded as well as retaliated. Oh, they did manage to get through my armor. I think I'd replace Eloise with something related to Ether, something Earth, something related to Power, something related to Age, and especially anything that covers 2 or more of those domains. Water, this is great as well. I suspect I'm not going to be able to take out the Mandragora on the top line here, unfortunately. God, I get absurdly close, though. I can't let it end another round. And I've got to redirect on the only that needs it. Yeah, okay, I'll finish it with a basic attack from Eloise. Depends on the element that we generate here. Hopefully not Earth. Don't say Earth, Starspawn. Don't say Earth. Earth. Oh no, wait, we do have the 5. Okay, cool. I'm gonna star beam them. Because I can, damn it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, I've currently spent 18 ether, so the next time I cast, everyone's just gonna shred. Thump, thump, and now I gain 2 power, and then I do a 3x2 to all enemies, but because I have 3 power at that point, it was a 3x5 to all enemies? It's doing real well. So yeah, our goal is to trigger that as quickly as possible, so. Oh, another black memento. I am over the moon to see it. Okay, 2 monsters in the opening zone and then 3 monsters in the second zone? Is that the pace? Hustle's got to go down first here. I'd love him to stop somehow getting all this corruption on my star spawn. Do you have to choose Earth? It's literally the worst element for you to choose every time, bar none. I feel like I should probably hit a basic attack here. Fire and water are very useful for me. Rude. Oh, wow. Water. Yeah, I can definitely generate water. So this boiling soup? That'll do it. Starbeam time. The damage that Allstress is going to do this turn, Aqua Pounce, no strength. So you do 9 directed? That's pretty bad. I'm going to redirect that to our tank. I don't have that much armor, but it's redirected at least. Oh, it almost all even misses off of a 10% evasion. Ridiculous. Oh wow, three Wild Ether. We're close to doing this again. Oh, but it wants Earth, which I can't do. Gotcha. Yeah, no problem on that one, buddy. Punch the ooze. I gotta use 5 more Ether this turn. Now 3 more Ether. The last 2 Ether. The fact that I'm triggering Ether Breath roughly at the end of each of these fights is pretty comforting to me, because it means that as I start to work on spending more energy consistently by giving my characters things like free actions that they can take especially. Oh, for every 50 healing on your allies, generate 1 Wild Ether. Interesting. I do like Wild Ether. How often am I healing my allies by 50? Right now, obviously not at all. But in the future, is there a way that I could get stupid healing involved in this? Yeah. Yeah, there certainly is. But, sorry, just to complete the previous thought, as I actually focus on getting characters, the free actions they're capable of taking, actions that cost more, things like that, better at generating energy so they can use their energy even faster at the start of the fight, all of those kinds of things, Ether Breath is going to consistently end fights for me. So, Eloise, your ability is... On action, if the action didn't consume cooking stacks, apply cooking to self and regeneration to the ally with the lowest amount of regeneration. You don't give out a lot of regeneration. You also don't give out a lot of burn, to be honest. Consume all cooking stacks to apply 4 burn to target enemy for each consumed stack. Whenever burn triggers on an enemy. Yeah, you don't care about burn triggers on enemies. It's Cosmic Healing or Reroll here, and I fear that this is probably the best that I can get from Eloise. I just don't feel like that character is especially synergistic with the rest of my party. Although I will say, there is absolutely a world in which that becomes the most important thing in the party. Like, I just have to find the right things that relate to it. Like, I don't know. Something like this probably doesn't exist, but Aura, if you spend a wild ether, heal all allies by 5. Something like that would be pretty immediately ridiculous. Okay, I don't like their attack targets, because again, 2 of them are targeting the Star Spawn on the top line, and I'm not capable of staggering any of these enemies, so I have to take at least one of those hits straight to the top line. Water is our best generation this turn, if we can. That's fine, I do want to redirect anyway. I guess Invigorate does give out a lot of regeneration because it's a non-attack, so it gives regeneration to all allies, but it also gives an additional regeneration to the ally that has the least, which if everyone's tied, it picks itself. Yeah, just take a support action. I've immediately got my Starbeam ready. Unfortunately, that... Oh, I probably should have checked this damage first. Unfortunately, that doesn't really stop anything from happening to me. I'm going to use the Aethermancer whip here, so that I can cut down the number of incoming attacks at least. Yeah, that Invigorate's annoying. It's going to keep him alive for a lot longer. How dare you use my moves against me? Use my moves for me. Absolutely. Use my moves with me? Even better. Against me? Oh, I never. Earth. Ugh. I'm gonna have to redirect the enemies again just because... Basically just because, frankly. Oh, boiling soup isn't even that good of an ability here. I'm getting some more cooking stats. I'm so glad that sidekick move missed. Oh, this is fine, right? Yeah, because this is enough to trigger... Da-da-da-da-da-da! Ether Breath! Which did almost end the fight, it just didn't. We're pretty close, though. Starspawn, initial shield 5. Honestly, not a great perk, just 5 shielding on the first turn, but right now, I'm pretty excited to see it. Oh, holy hell. First, we have Ember Dart, just a free action that consumes 2 ether. Very good to have free actions. 2x2 fire against target enemy. We've got Water Ritual, applies 2 age to a target ally and generates 3 water. That is incredible for Zoe. Sets up your Drift Punch. It also, in applying 2 age to you, immediately gives you 6 healing and shield. That water ritual is incredibly powerful. And then Mudtide. This is, it's difficult because Mudtide, 2x5 water earth against all enemies. Heal all allies with age for 2x6. 2x6 to all allies with age? That's 12. If all of my allies have age, that's almost 50. That's almost a wild ether just for using this. Although, obviously, I'd be replacing Eloise, who is the one who actually has the ability for that to trigger. I'll take Water Ritual here first. Zoe! You shouldn't have! Mudtide, 2x5 Water Earth against all enemies. Heal all allies with rage. Problem is, I really, really do want you to be a tank. So, Drift Guard, shield self for 2x6, apply redirect to self, a shield and redirect on self. That'll happily replace your Drift Punch in 99% of circumstances. The damage comes out from other characters. You just need to take the damage. Right now, at least. There was also a free action below that was really expensive. Too expensive to use at the moment. Look, I could spend gold to try and corruption cleanse my Star Spawn. I could. Anyway. Moving on. Look, I want the Lurker. I want the Lurker wherever the Lurker lurks. I want to know what he likes, and I want to know what he lurks. But unfortunately, it seems like there's not one here. Can't take Cook when the Aether's ring is here. Although I really do like the Cook as well. Top tier friend. I mean, it's going to be Grimoire. If it's not going to be anything else, I'm going to take the Grimoire, so... Sorry, Eloise. Granted, Domovoy is one of the characters I most want to build a run around, so I'm coming back, don't worry. Ooh, Disney Mio with Weakness, Power, and Purge. And Earth. Hecatoncheires! You have age. You have age inbuilt, courtesy of your 100-handed. Gains aging at the end of your turn. If this monster has 3 or more age, trigger an attack against all enemies for a 1 by fire wind for every 3 age stacks, and apply 1 weakness to each enemy. And then finally, Dyla. This has got good earth coverage as well as healing and regeneration. Sadly, those will lose out to the ones that have ether related to them. I don't want to take the Shifted Grimoire, because the Shifted Grimoire actually feels a lot worse than the base Grimoire. In a way that, specifically, because you can get the Living Tome to trigger, but as soon as you do, you get offered 3 powerful actions, but unfortunately the powerful actions that can be offered to the Shifted Grimoire, courtesy of having the type summon, are often summons, and specifically they're often the cheap summons, the bad summons, the summons that like you really don't necessarily want. So I'll take base Grimoire here. Which this will also be really helpful because this one does work. I have seen this one specifically work. At the start, when I spend Wild, the Living Tome will internalize it as any ether remaining in order to cast Unleash Tome. Sorry about it. This one I will hard reroll looking for the right thing. Rapid fire. Whenever an enemy gets attacked at the same time of the turn, trigger burn. No. For every 4 burn applied to enemies, generate fire ether. You apply sunburn. And shock. Interrupt deals a fire wind hit to an enemy. I'm gonna reroll here. I was about to say, there's so many better things here, and we just found one of them. Ether Shield. Whenever this monster consumes or generates ether, shield self equal to the amount of consumed or generated ether. Void Burn. At the start of your turn, generate Wild Ether. At the end of your turn, consume Wild Ether and take a 3 damage hit to this monster for each. The fact that this gives me, like, most of the cast... Well, I say most of the casting. Grimoire will generate a wild energy at the start of the turn, and also 2 wild energy from Wild Burn, so it does get me most of the casting for the Star Beam. Ridiculous. And then Cosmic Fire. Aura. Every 3rd Fire Ether generated by your allies is converted into Wild Ether. Wild Ether also counts as Fire Ether for the effects of your skills. Neat, but only if I had like a bunch of fire for the rest of the build. It's 100% Void Burn. I could scarcely have asked for something better. Wind. I'll always take the EXP there. Oh, a little care package for me. 5 gold and 3 corruption from all monsters. Really? None of this area is an outlet to the Lurker? I'll be. Oh, Void Element. Who's likely to attack by themselves, and why do I feel like it's probably the Grimoire? Can the Grimoire even get this? Because Grimoire's elements are wild. So does it give it wild base damage? I don't know. Let's see. Hell yeah, give the Grimoire... Oh, right. I can literally choose between all of the elemental affinities for it. Generate 1 additional ether of that element. I do need a lot of water, but I also have Water Ritual for generating water. Maybe wind? Although I could also take the elemental affinity for earth, just so that my basic attacks do earth damage on the Grimoire for the sake of staggering. I feel like it should be water. Just because of how much more I use that ether. Ooh, Monster Soul. I will also say those wormlings up there are pretty appealing. Sadly, I caught the attention of the authoress. Oh, that's ridiculous. With 4... it asks for an earth action. Well, it asks for an earth action, and I can do that. It steals an enemy. Oh, no, but I have to use wind to get there. Gosh, what does that mean? What does that mean for me? Oh, literally just use the basic attack of Grimoire. And then I can Star Beam. Which is most of the casting resources. Hell yeah. I'll go Drift Punch on the top line, because we can just stop that Fire Ritual. Which, especially because the enemies here have Fire Fang, could be really annoying. Come on. Basically, no matter what you choose, I can do something cool with it. Hell yeah. First thing first, Drip Guard. Generates all the wild ether I could ask for. Then I Star Beam the enemies for a bunch of damage. Oh, I guess we're still 5 off of the other cast. Wild Ritual. Generate wild ether and then generate Apply Power to Self. Fun. I'll use Gemstone Crash here instead. And then Skull. Yeah, I'm thrilled with this build now. Stop giving me monster sauce. It's too many. It's too many, and I'm not going to be using that many of them. Oh god, if there was only like a character that was like capable of trading souls. Trades monster souls for blank mementos or something like that in the middle of the run so you can decide how many you want. It's not going to matter that much longer. Eventually, the blank mementos will go the way of the ether crystal. By which I mean they will no longer be relevant to me in any way. Big old skull right there. Follow it up with a bunch of damage and stagger to all enemies. God. Yeah, I'll retaliate. Why not? Oh, right, because it generates a wild ether at the end of the turn, which then deals damage immediately to my Grimmoire. Yeah, I can't save wild ether between turns. I gotta remember to internalize that correctly. It's a lot of poison for a single turn, though. Pretty terrified of these enemies. Of course, you chose Earth. You only ever choose Earth if I don't want you to choose Earth. Basic attack sets up Starbeam, takes out 2 enemies. I do want to redirect to self. I don't. I'm gonna hit Monster Flask on my top line because I am very slightly scared that there's enough poison that between the ooze's ability. Oh gosh, maybe I should have been more worried about the Grimoire. Thankfully, the enemy took poison damage at the start of their turn and immediately got staggered. It worked out pretty well. I'm gonna Unleash Stone with Lava Fling here. Yeah, that's not even considered a fire action for the sake of the turn. Interesting. You have to spend Fire Ether on an action for it to be considered a fire action. Got it. Internalized it. Skill reroll is also something I'm very happy to see early. Yeah, I checked all of the little divots. I didn't... And I'm missing a monster. What the hell? So does it go 2 monsters in the opening section, 3 monsters in the middle section, 2 monsters in the end section? Or am I just missing an ambush somewhere? I honestly just wish there was like a little pop-up that is like, you clear this level. That's all I need is the satisfaction of knowing for certain. And then I can move on. But unfortunately, that knowing for certain only comes at the end of rechecking the entire floor for me right now. Well, there's nowhere else for it to be, so onwards and upwards. Which is really interesting. I do like Ether Breath, but it is a little slow right now. I do like Outlast, I do like Void Burn. And do I want to reroll anyone's base abilities? No. I could reroll Direct Punch, to be entirely frank with you. It wouldn't be an issue for me. I don't think that's a priority of mine, though. I'm gonna take the Merchant, because I got money. And I don't have to buy everything. I can buy little things.
Ah, the stench of void is on you. It comes from your monster. Shambler, one of the living manifestations of the void. It represents the void's potential to change, disruptive and unpredictable. Who knows? It might even change you, Syriax. Care to buy anything?
Ocarina, no. Scepter. So the Ocarina is Fire Generator and Debuff Cleanse on a support action. Consume all your ether, generate 7 random ether. I almost never want to do that. Monster Soul, not interested. Ocarina, Boots. I'm going to take the Scepter. Am I? I probably get better equipment than this later, like very quickly. I probably end up replacing the Scepter very quickly as well. If the Scepter was on sale, I might take the Scepter and put that on Grimoire. But honestly, I'm leaning towards just like a couple points of bonus XP and then leaving. Zoe. For every 7 ether consumed by allies, generate wild ether. I gotta say, certainly the kind of thing that I'm interested in, but do I need it? Protector. As long as this monster has redirect, all allies gained +1 defense and +1 shielding. I like that a lot. I think that's really powerful as a defensive trait. I don't think I need Ether Cycle. But I could definitely do work with it. I'm worried that a lot of the time it'll end up with me generating a Wild Ether at the end of my turn that then just domes Grimoire for 3. I'm gonna take Protector. Ooh, Grimoire levels up, gets an action. Oh, Wild Ritual uses 1 of each, guaranteeing that it will trigger the additional wild generation. Generates wild ether, applies power to self. There's also Lava Tide, 2x2 fire earth against all enemies, purges an enemy ether on interrupt, generates a random ether. I'll be taking Wild Ritual here. It's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. I will take 1 last hit of this bonus Expa, and then I'm gonna move on. Of course it shows Earth on turn 1. I mean, I can Wild Ritual to generate the right ether for it. Could also just base attack to do that. Yeah, it even generates additional water ether, which is super useful for us. And then I Drift Guard. Unfortunately, that generates a wild ether at the end of our turn, so we dome our Grimoire. But we take no damage. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna start with Drift Guard. That sets up the Unleashed Tome. Wildflower Harvests. 3x5 fire against enemy on interrupt, generate wild ether. It's a free action. Hell yeah. A Wildflower Harvest here. Then I can follow up with Quick Scald to set up Starbeams, Wild Energy. And yeah, happily brace. Although again, we're gonna dome Grimoire. I need to lose this meteorite, I think, maybe. Oh, Ether Breath also triggered at the very end of the turn there. Oh, we end up staggering the enemy. Unfortunately, the only hit they got out is the one that was supposed to be Was it supposed to be redirected? Oh, I think I might have just thought that I was consuming or had redirection stacks, but I had age stacks at the time. We got a lot of power on the Starspawn at the moment. Starspawn's doing well. I'm gonna Lava Fling for the Purge. Great. I'll also definitely hit a Drift Guard. Give me 2 more Wild Ether, contributing to a great Starbeam here. 21 damage 2 times. Perfect. I can even end the turn with a Swipe so that I don't have any Wild Ether left. This is also working out really well because all of these redirects are making all of the weakness go on a character that I don't really care about having attack. We saw basically no ether in my pool to purge when it tried there. Drift Guard. Start with Unleashed Tome, certainly. I'll take anything that interrupts your actions. I'm gonna Drift Guard for the redirect itself. And then because I always want to have redirect up, if possible, I'm also just gonna hit Drift Guard or maybe Drift Punch this time. Drift Punch this time. Oh no, but if I do Drift Guard, that's another support action. So I generate another Wild Ether, giving me the ability to pop off on the top floor. And Starbeam! And that's enough for the Grimoire to take another special action. Unfortunately, it can only take 1 special action each round because it's a free action. No reason for me not to use the Monster Blast for healing here on Grimoire. The Grimoire's not really being exposed to damage this turn, but still. Three by 9, 27, 2 by 16, 32. And the Starbeam is making me more powerful as well. Okay, yeah, I still do want the Starbeam. Honestly, I don't need the free action Drift Guard this turn. Oh, Mudfling is currently promising to disable both enemy actions, as well as give a bunch of temporary power to the party. Now that's what you like to see. Actually, I will use my free action Drift Guard here. Specifically because I'm then going to use a Wild Ritual to get most of the Unleashed Dome ready for the next turn. Then I'll Starbeam the enemy, so I can use all of that ether. Unleash Tome is now set up. And then the final thing I do is Drift Punch the enemy for additional redirects and spending all of that wild. Perfect. I mean, this Gemstone Crash is doing a bunch of damage. Unfortunately, it also does a 5 damage itself, but not too worried about it, to be honest. I'm gonna just hit a Wild Ritual here so that I can finish the fight with the Starbeam for 2/26. Okay, so what have I learned from this fight? I'm really good at AoE. I'm garbage at single target damage. My single target damage comes at the end of getting a bunch of AoE damage instead. Starspawn levels up. Only one to level up here. Interesting. Gain aging. Oh, gain aging for every 2 age. Generate wild ether. Start of every second turn, have enough ether to immediately void burn. Honestly, I think with void burn, I think I need to be careful. I can't generate too much wild ether because it will screw me. Decay. For every 4 age, trigger an attack against enemies with 2 water earth hits. Damage of each hit equals the amount of age stacks on this monster. I mean, that's pretty good. That's really good. Synchronous Mastery. I mean, that would also apply power to the Starspawn Synchronous Mastery, which is pretty impactful as well. That said, I won't really trigger it for much. I'll probably trigger it twice each combat. Also, I do want to get Age on Starspawn, so maybe I just take one of the Ages as a result of... I'm going to take one of the Ages as a result of that. I'm going to get Cosmic Wisdom. I'll just find ways to use more ether. That's the answer. We'll now head into another merchant. Do I care? Hecatonchirus. Sorathil. Corbo admittedly is pretty impactful here. Healing, ether, and power, all related. Deeply interesting. You can take a bunch of support actions and then eventually give the power that you generated with those support actions straight to other characters that you can use it. Like, Corbo is really good here as well. And I would suggest that the Shifted Djinn probably is as well. Levitation shifted for every 9 ether consumed by allies. Apply dodge to this monster. Each attack consumes a dodge stack to gain +1 damage and steal 1 ether. That slaps. That slaps hard. 2 epic pieces of equipment here. Can't buy both of them, unfortunately. One of them is the Scepter. At the end of your turn, apply 1 temporary power and heal self for 6. 20% chance on action to apply power to self. And 1 debuff cleanse. Honestly, it doesn't actually look that good. Salve. At the end of combat, cleanse 4 corruption from self. Do 1 additional earth damage, generate 1 additional water ether with a basic attack, and at the start of combat, applies to weakness to a random enemy. I mean... I'm not going to tell you I'm excited about it, but I think it can go on, you know, basically any character. I'm going to take the blank memento because I always end up wanting more of those. Maybe I even just take Chromatic Soul. Break 3 boys on target enemy. Having a little bit more control over Poise Break in the right time, specifically for Earth, could be really impactful. This is also an incredible artifact in the final fight for helping break the hands. I'll take it. And then I have exactly 3 left. Hell, I'll get 15% evasion thrown on the Grimoire. That worked out really well, I think. We're set up for the next episode. In an hour's time exactly. For the moment, my name's been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Aethermancer. Top Lads is a series playlist for all my content on the game, past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations are down below. Streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Out above the thank to, and a special thanks this episode to Zoe. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully see you all next time.